On the 19th of October 2018, the Phoenix Canoe Club arrived at London Heathrow to commence their expedition to the remote north of India. It was unclear quite what would follow, but it was sure to be an adventure. Even at the airport, things were not easy. With over 30 of us, half of kayaks, checking in was more eventful than you may imagine. In order to check in the kayaks, we got to enter the hidden oversized baggage check-in located in the staff-only section of Heathrow. A long 9 hours later, we arrived at New Delhi airport. We had more kayak logistics to contend with, but we had all become much richer through the powers of currency exchange by the end of the 5-hour changeover for our mere 25-minute domestic flight to Dehradun. On our drive to the Himalayan Hideaway Lodge on the banks of the Ganges, we had our first experience of the chaos which is Indian roads. We were briefed the previous evening that we would be having 2 nice warm-up days. It is fair to say that we were slightly caught off guard by the wave trains bigger than anything most of us had previously paddled, and that was on the unnamed rapids. The second day was huge and probably some of the most fun we'd had kayaking for a while.
I big up my guy Sedimentary from there, yeah? Sedimentary from elementary. You don't know!
After the Ganges, we were given the opportunity to visit the town of Rishikesh. It was an eye-opener to see the true side of India as we sighted monkeys and fought with cows and mopeds to get around. Many of us even took part in the Hindu worshipping of the river festival.
I'll give you £200 if you just start sitting and riding it.
On our 4th day in India, we were lucky enough to visit a local school as part of a social outreach project. We were taught and beaten at the children's favourite game, Kho-Kho, and in return we taught them British Bulldog. It was fascinating to see the school, and we were surprised to learn that the head teacher was a world-class badminton player. Most importantly, we taught the kids the bottle flip challenge and how to do the floss. That night we took an 8-hour journey on a sleeper train. We were pleasantly surprised by the comfort, but far more so by the fact you can open the doors whilst the train is moving. The journey passed quickly for a combination of Uno, sleep and adrenaline. We arrived at Kathgodam station at 700 hours. We had been travelling for 10 hours straight by this point, and we were informed that we had an 8-hour mountain drive ahead of us. The kayaks were loaded safely and systematically whilst we all tried to squat like the locals. Almost immediately, a tyre burst on one of our buses, the first of many delays. The road, however, was in good condition to begin with and had absolutely stunning views. Aside from another hour and a half delay as one bus got lost, the journey was pretty good up until the lunch break. As night fell, the journey became tiresome. We had been driving for around 12 hours when the road started to deteriorate, as did the condition of the toilets. Our 8-hour journey had almost doubled by the time we reached our less than impressive accommodation in Pifaragraph, where we packed and prepared for our 6-day Kali expedition. The next day we drove for around 5 more hours along a road that was still being built. At our lunch stop, the first of many visa checks occurred, as we were stopped by the chief of police for the whole region. In the end, a group photo sorted everything out, and we got to the put-in for the Kali by mid-afternoon.
So basically, well, it's been a long journey coming here. It's a long drive, much longer than we expected. And I had a nice little nap at the hotel, and this morning woke up, another long drive. I'm looking forward to hopping on the Kali though. It looks like a pretty sick river. Apparently the first bit's quite technical. Beautiful scenery on the way here though, like nice cliff mountain roads. You can look over and see like the local villages and stuff, and the rundown shacks, and yeah, all that sort of stuff. And looking forward to hopping on the river. There's some locals down there just waving at us. You alright, mate? And on namaste, as they say here. So looking forward to that.
Day 1 was a short day of kayaking, but we set up camp for the first time of many and spent the evening round the fire. We were surprised at how cold it got as night fell. The next morning, the atmosphere was good.
So Henry, tell me about the Kali River.
Yes, it's been good. So yesterday we got on the water, and it's been a bit more technical, more rocks, less volume than we previously paddled in the Ganges. For me, it's been going pretty well. Yesterday I had a run-in with a bit of a pretty tough boil line. Went over, rolled up, second attempt. A bit dodgy, but I still haven't swum yet. Feeling good.
Tell me about the temperature of the water.
Water's much colder here than we were expecting, but off the water it's super warm, so it sort of balances itself out.
Is it warm throughout the day?
Through the day it definitely is, but at night it's a bit colder, you know. So glad I bought the big sleeping bag.
Okay. And how are you finding the camping experience?
Camping experience is different to anything I've ever had. Sand everywhere, but you know, it's working. Our tent is a bit dodgy, but you know, we're working through it. It should be a good trip.
Yeah. Okay. And so far, how are you finding the fact they're on the Nepalese border?
It's a bit interesting. We've had a few run-ins with the border guards. Got a quick photo with the chief of police for the region.
Can you just point to Nepal for us?
So that over there, that's Nepal. Right now we're standing in India. It's a very sensitive area for that kind of stuff. Adds a bit of spice to the trip, just like the food.
Can you comment on the food?
Food is lovely, although not sure I'm going to survive much longer without getting the shits.
Oh, okay. Tell me about the team behind the scenes of this.
Yeah, so we've got a load of a team of Nepalese and Indian men from the Himalayan River Runners, and they're really helping us as well as the Phoenix coaches, also giving us good guidance in our pods. It's working really well on the river. We've also got the rafters there to support us if we need it and carrying our kit.
Lovely. I'm going to conclude this interview. Thank you very much for speaking to me today, Henry.
No worries.
And have a good trip.
That evening, however, the mood changed completely. About half of the youths were stricken down by illness, either throwing up or complete loss of energy. The next day, things did not improve. Felix, Gautam, Morgan and Henry all took a day on the raft in order to heal from their ill health, and many people threw up in kayaks or rafts that day. How would you describe the last couple of days here on the Kali River expedition?
So, first day was actually pretty good. Had a couple of swims, but nothing that we couldn't deal with as kayakers or rafters. Second day was also alright. A few people got ill on the second day, but again, it was probably about 2-hour days, both the first and the second. And then the third day is when shit started to hit the fan. It's when everybody sort of got ill. I got ill. Everybody was throwing up. So we had about 6 or 7 extra rafters on the rafts, and boats just piled on top of the rafts. Pretty mediocre water, if I say so myself. And it was quite cold after the shadow. Because we're in a canyon, the sun sets quite quickly. So as you can see there, the sun sort of it's rising above there and over there. it'll set quite early on in the day. So you know,
And what are your thoughts for today? What's it looking like?
it's gonna get big. It's gonna be lots of long flat sections, but hopefully the rapids should pay off.
Yeah.
It'll be big.
On day 4, the situation did start to improve as many people started to get better, as did the water. As the day came to an end, we came across the first big feature for a while. High on Stoke, we set up camp for that night, feeling good. Later that night, Brad spotted a leopard hanging around our rudimentary toilets. Fires were lit to keep it from entering the camp, but that did not stop other wildlife, including a huge praying mantis. On day 5, the river got really good. Today we would hit the infamous Chuka Rapids, which sure lived up to their reputation.
Right, Morgan, just finished the penultimate day on the river. Just tackled Chuka Rapid. What are your thoughts on the day?
Oh, it was lovely, mate. It was really good. I loved the Chuka Rapids, and the second one was the most frightening. It had a big rock, pillowy. I seemed like a legend. And then they had a little whirlpool at the end to add a bit of spice, you know.
That evening, we built our final camp. We had a huge fire from the abundance of driftwood on the beach. Ben, Jack, and a couple of our Nepalese guides went on a mission to Nepal to bring beer back to the camp. What was better than alcohol was the onion bhajis that were cooked for us. It was clear from earlier on the river that we needed some fried food.
Yeah, so fish and chips.
Oh, man.
Beats a curry, I'm sorry, but curry every day.
I thought this was a colony. So where's the f***ing fish and chips?
You know when you have fish and chips, it always looks nice. And it's
Yeah.
like huge, you're like, yeah, I'm ready for this. And halfway through, you feel sick.
Yeah.
I've had a fish and chips now. I'd eat all of it and not even care.
Without a doubt, mate.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
munch it.
And he introduces f***ing hooligans to fish and chips.
Yeah. Just cover it. I'd have every sauce, barbecue, ketchup, mayo, tartar.
Like, the more western, the better.
Yeah, I'll put burger. Who even likes burger sauce?
Yeah, me. It's a mixture of ketchup and mayonnaise.
Oh.
How can you go wrong?
If there's anything greasy right now, it would be lovely.
Oh, mate. No, but to be honest, you can get really greasy food, can't you?
Yeah, but just something like a kebab, like a really
fuck
dodgy
yeah.
kebab,
Yeah. Like, I could go with like black cans, but
smothered
white
in
arms.
garlic sauce.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
wrapped in a peng pitter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, this is torture.
Oh, you know when you watch the guy like saw the meat off the spinny thing.
Oh yeah.
The last day was clearly the best day as far as kayaking is concerned. A couple of hours in, we got out and scouted this. There was no portage option and it was sick.
Good vibration.
At the get-out, we were joined by cows and said our goodbye to the river guides which we had befriended and had lots of fun with. We had a short-ish drive to the lodge at Corbett National Park. Along the way, we broke into song.
Got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot. Oh, we're halfway there. Living on a prayer.
We arrived late, but found the restaurant and most of us got milkshakes. We struggled to adapt to the porcelain toilets, proper beds, and water that didn't taste of iodine. The next morning, I was delighted to find they had cereal with cold milk, a first on the trip. That was, of course, after our 5 AM tiger safari in the national park. Of course, we didn't actually see any tigers, but the cool ones among us brought hats, and we saw an abundance of monkeys, birds, and deer. We even almost crashed into an elephant.
Tigers, do they eat?
Yes.
We took another overnight sleeper train back to Delhi, followed by another coach journey to Agra, location of the Taj Mahal. We quickly made good use of the rooftop pool at our hotel. In the afternoon, we visited the Taj itself. Whilst we were all in awe of its beauty and incredible symmetry, many of us became more concerned by the fact we were being treated like celebrities. It is clear that in India, race does show difference, and many Indians decided to approach us for pictures and even handed us their children, purely due to skin colour or of afro hair. Our last morning in Agra was spent shopping and searching for any kind of Western food. The tuk-tuk drivers seemed happy enough to accept an Oyster card as a driving licence, and somehow Kit was allowed to drive. We then drove back to New Delhi and checked into the airport residence, where we tried to enjoy what we thought was our last curry for a while. Finally reunited with some of our kit, it became a late night trying to dry it and fit it all into our bags. Delhi Airport brought yet more kayak shenanigans, but wasn't all in all too bad. This was until Jack dropped his luxury ice cream.
Just happened to your Belgian waffle dream.
Waffles in the pot.
Oh dear.
On the aeroplane, we were disappointed to be served yet more curry, and it was a slow 8 hours back to London.